What modern leaders can learn from Mehmed II. He was just 21 when he ended a 1,000-year empire. But what if Mehmed II, the conqueror of Constantinople, wasn't just a warrior king? What if he was the blueprint for leadership itself? In a world where modern leaders crumble under pressure, Mehmed stood calm before the gates of history and kicked them down. This is not just his story. It's a masterclass in power, patience, and purpose. In 1453, the world stood on the edge of change. Europe feared him. The Islamic world watched him. The Byzantines prayed he'd fail. Mehmed II, barely out of youth, had one impossible goal: conquer Constantinople. But behind the walls of war and siege was something far deeper: a vision, a strategy, a mind that merged logic with legacy. Today, we don't just look at what he did. We uncover how he thought, and what today's presidents, CEOs, generals, and reformers can still learn from the conqueror. Before he ever picked up a sword, Mehmed picked a goal that shook the world: Constantinople, the queen of cities, the heart of a dying empire, and the center of a future one. He was told it was impossible, that others had tried and failed. But Mehmed didn't aim for what was easy. He aimed for what was eternal. Modern leaders often chase polls, applause, quarterly wins. Mehmed chased something else: a timeless purpose. He studied geography, history, Roman tactics, Byzantine politics. He surrounded himself with engineers, scholars, and former enemies. He wasn't just a man of war, he was a student of civilization. To build a legacy, Mehmed first saw beyond his time, a lesson lost on many today. When the Bosphorus blocked his navy from entering Constantinople, most would quit. But Mehmed rolled 70 ships over land, greased by logs and horses, through the forests of Galata. That wasn't brute force. That was adaptive genius. He knew when tradition had to give way to innovation. He didn't care if it looked mad, only if it worked. In a crisis, modern leaders often cling to old models. Mehmed reinvented reality. Whether building the massive basilica cannon or breaking the chain across the Golden Horn, he didn't ask, has it been done before? He asked, can I make it possible? Mehmed's court was a mosaic: Greeks, Serbs, Turks, Italians, Jews. He kept Christian advisors, tolerated different faiths, and recruited talent regardless of background. He believed in diverse minds at the table, long before it became a modern buzzword. Yet when a decision was made, it was his. Clear, final, unshakable. Too many leaders today confuse discussion with indecision. Mehmed welcomed counsel but commanded with clarity. He unified an empire not by erasing difference, but by orchestrating it like a symphony. After the fall of Constantinople, the world expected a bloodbath. Instead, Mehmed entered Hagia Sophia, prayed, and declared safety for all who submitted peacefully. He respected churches, protected minorities, and allowed the Greek Orthodox Patriarchate to continue, not out of weakness, but because he knew mercy earns loyalty, fear earns silence. Modern rulers often crush opponents to appear strong. Mehmed showed that strength is discipline, not destruction. But make no mistake, Mehmed knew when to draw the sword. He executed traitorous governors, silenced rebellions, marched on Serbia, Trebizond, Wallachia. He wasn't sentimental. He was strategic. He understood a dark truth. You cannot build order without crushing chaos, even if that chaos comes from your own people. His conquest of Constantinople wasn't just military. It was psychological. He broke the myth of Byzantium, not just its walls. Mehmed II wasn't perfect. He was a product of his age, ruthless, calculating, absolute. But in that chaos, he left something few ever do: an empire reborn, a city revived, a name that echoes across continents. What can modern leaders learn? Think in centuries, not cycles. Surround yourself with talent, not flatterers. Lead with mercy, strike with precision. Innovate without ego. Rule with vision, not vanity. Because history doesn't remember the loudest voice. It remembers the one who changed the course. In an age of fragile power and forgotten principles, Mehmed's story reminds us, a true leader doesn't follow the moment. He defines it. And for those who dare lead today, maybe the conqueror still has a few secrets left to teach. Subscribe to Historical TV for more stories where past power meets present lessons. Because history isn't gone, it's guiding us.